Savannah Whitmore had the kind of life people envied. At 27, she was a successful marketing executive, owned a beautiful condo in downtown Chicago, and was engaged to the love of her life, Ryan Gallagher. Their love story was the stuff of fairy tales. Childhood friends turned high school sweethearts. They'd been inseparable for nearly a decade. Their engagement photos, laughing under cherry blossoms, holding hands at sunset, flooded social media. But behind those perfect smiles, someone was watching. Someone who wanted Savannah's life for herself. That someone was her younger sister, Hailey Whitmore. At 25, Hailey had always lived in Savannah's shadow. Same golden blonde hair, same piercing blue eyes, but where Savannah was warm and effortlessly charming, Hailey was intense, unpredictable. Friends later told police that Hailey would copy Savannah's outfits, her mannerisms, even the way she laughed. But no one realized how deep that obsession ran until Ryan came into the picture. The moment Ryan proposed, something inside Hailey snapped. At the engagement party, she made a toast that silenced the room. "Guess I'll always be the second choice sister." Everyone laughed awkwardly, assuming it was a joke. But Hailey wasn't joking. Over the next few months, her behavior grew more erratic. She accidentally sent Ryan flirty texts, then claimed they were meant for someone else. She showed up uninvited to his apartment, saying she just happened to be in the neighborhood. When Ryan confronted her, Hailey burst into tears, insisting she just wanted to be closer to her future brother-in-law. Savannah brushed it off. "That's just Hailey being Hailey," she told Ryan. But then the messages turned darker. "You don't deserve him," Hailey wrote in one late-night text. "I know him better than you ever will." Ryan finally showed Savannah the messages, and for the first time, Savannah felt a chill run down her spine. She agreed to talk to Hailey to set boundaries. But Hailey didn't want boundaries. She wanted Ryan, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get him. 3 weeks before the wedding, Savannah came home to find her dress, the one she'd spent months designing, slashed to ribbons. Security footage showed a figure slipping into her apartment, but the face was hidden. Savannah knew. They all knew. But before anyone could act, Hailey made her move. And what happened next would turn a dream wedding into a nightmare. The night before Savannah's bridal shower, Ryan got a call that made his blood run cold. It was Hailey, whispering into the phone, "If you marry her, I'll make sure you regret it." Ryan immediately called Savannah, warning her to stay somewhere safe. But Savannah refused to let her sister's threats ruin her big day. "She's all talk," Savannah insisted. "She'd never actually hurt me." She was wrong. Around 11 p.m., Savannah's best friend, Lauren, stopped by to drop off gifts. When no one answered the door, Lauren used a spare key and froze in horror. The apartment was trashed, picture frames smashed, wedding invitations torn to shreds. And in the bedroom, Savannah lay on the floor, barely conscious, her face bruised and swollen. "Hailey," she gasped. She was Hay. Paramedics rushed Savannah to the hospital. She had a concussion, 3 broken ribs, and deep scratches down her arms, defensive wounds, the doctors said. When police questioned Hailey, she had an alibi. She'd been at a bar across town, surrounded by witnesses. Security footage confirmed it. But something didn't add up. The bartender later admitted Hailey had slipped out for nearly an hour, plenty of time to drive to Savannah's apartment and back. With no solid evidence, Hailey walked free. But Ryan wasn't fooled. He installed security cameras at their new place, changed the locks, even hired a private investigator. What they uncovered was terrifying. Hailey had been stalking Savannah for months. She had a folder of photos, Savannah and Ryan at dinner, Savannah at the gym, even Savannah sleeping. The PI also found deleted search history, how to make someone disappear. Untraceable poisons. Can you inherit a sister's fiancé? Ryan begged Savannah to postpone the wedding, to get a restraining order. But Savannah refused. "I won't let her win," she said. It was the last decision she'd ever make. Because 2 days before the wedding, Savannah vanished. The morning Savannah disappeared, Ryan woke up to a text. running early to the venue. "See you soon. Love you." But when he arrived at Willow Creek Manor, Savannah wasn't there. Her car was still in the driveway, keys on the counter. Her phone lay abandoned on the kitchen table. And on the screen, one unsent message to Ryan. "Hailey's here." "She's..." Asterisk, the search began immediately. Police scoured the property, finding drag marks near the woods. K-9 units led them to a shallow grave half a mile from the venue. Inside was Savannah's bridal veil, slashed and covered in dirt. But no body. Not yet. Asterisk. Then came the break in the case. A gas station clerk recognized Hailey from the news. She'd stopped in around 5 a.m., buying a shovel, gloves, and bleach. Surveillance footage showed her not just calm, but smiling. When detectives tracked her down, she was sitting in her car outside Ryan's apartment, watching him through binoculars. Hailey didn't resist arrest. In fact, she seemed relieved. "I had to do it," she told officers. "He was always meant to be mine." But when they pressed for details, her story unraveled. First, she claimed self-defense. Then, she said Savannah fell. Finally, under interrogation, the truth spilled out, a confession so cold, even seasoned detectives were shaken. Hailey admitted she'd lured Savannah to the venue by pretending to apologize. Once there, she attacked. The fight was brutal. Savannah fought back, but Hailey was stronger. "I didn't mean to kill her," Hailey sobbed, before correcting herself. "Okay, I did, but only because she wouldn't let him go." Then came the bombshell. Hailey had buried Savannah's body in the woods, but kept one thing, a lock of her sister's hair. "So part of her could still be with us," she explained, as if this was somehow romantic. Ryan collapsed when he heard. The wedding venue became a crime scene. The white roses Savannah had picked out now marked the place where she'd taken her last breath. And Hailey? She sat in her cell, humming Savannah's favorite song, waiting for Ryan to finally see the truth. But the worst was yet to come. Because when Hailey took the stand at trial, what she revealed would shock the nation. The courthouse was packed on the first day of Hailey Whitmore's trial. Reporters jammed the hallway. Sketching artists prepared their pads, and Savannah's loved one sat clutching tissues in the front row. All eyes turned as Hailey entered, not in prison garb, but in a soft pink sweater, her blonde hair neatly curled. She looked like the girl next door. But the prosecutor's opening statement shattered that illusion in seconds. "This isn't a crime of passion," Assistant District Attorney Lucas Carter told the jury. "This was a calculated execution. Hailey Whitmore didn't just kill her sister. She erased her. She stole Savannah's future, her happiness, and nearly got away with it." He then revealed evidence that made jurors recoil. Google searches for how to dissolve a body made from Hailey's laptop, a fake Facebook account she'd used to monitor Ryan, and the most damning piece, a voicemail from Savannah's phone, timestamped minutes before her death. The courtroom fell silent as the recording played. Heavy breathing. A struggle. Then Savannah's voice, barely a whisper. "Ryan, she has a KN." The call cut off. In the gallery, Ryan Gallagher broke down, sobbing. Hailey? She sat perfectly still, doodling hearts on her legal pad. The defense argued insanity. They brought in psychiatrists who testified about Hailey's erotomania, a delusional disorder where she believed Ryan loved her. But the prosecution had an ace, prison phone calls where Hailey told her mother, "I'd do it again if I had to." When the judge allowed these recordings, even the defense team looked shaken. Then came the testimony no one expected. Ryan took the stand, his voice cracking as he described identifying Savannah's remains. They found her wedding ring, still on her finger. But when the defense suggested Hailey was just a heartbroken girl, Ryan snapped. Heartbroken girls don't bury their sisters in the woods. The judge called for order, but the damage was done. The jury saw the truth. This wasn't love. This was possession. As the trial entered its final days, Hailey made a shocking request. She wanted to testify. Against her lawyer's advice, she took the stand, and what happened next will become true crime history. Hailey Whitmore smiled as she settled into the witness chair. For 20 minutes, she spoke calmly about her childhood, painting herself as a forgotten sister. But when the prosecutor asked about the murder, her demeanor shifted. Her voice took on a dreamy quality as she described watching Ryan propose. "That ring should have been mine," she murmured. Then came the question that changed everything. "Did you plan to kill Savannah?" Hailey leaned forward. "Not at first. I just wanted her to leave him. So I put antifreeze in her iced coffee, just a little, to make her sick." Gasps filled the courtroom. This was new information. The coroner immediately ordered toxicology retests. Hailey continued, matter-of-fact, "When that didn't work, I knew what I had to do." The prosecutor showed crime scene photos, Savannah's broken nails, the dirt under her fingertips from trying to claw her way out of the grave. Hailey barely glanced at them. "She fought harder than I thought," she admitted almost admiringly. Then, unprompted, she said the words that would seal her fate. "But it was worth it, because now Ryan can finally be happy with me." The judge called an emergency recess. Ryan stormed out, vomiting in the hallway. Reporters scrambled to update headlines. And Hailey? She asked the bailiff for a mint, humming as she was led back to her cell. When the jury returned a guilty verdict 3 days later, Hailey didn't react. Not until sentencing, when she suddenly turned to Ryan and whispered, "You'll come visit me, right?" His response, "I hope you rot in hell," was the last thing she heard before being sentenced to life without parole. But the nightmare wasn't over, because from prison, Hailey Whitmore was just getting started. Prison didn't break Hailey Whitmore, it gave her an audience. Within months, she'd garnered a disturbing fan base, receiving love letters and marriage proposals. She gave interviews to true crime podcasts, coyly hinting there were other secrets she might reveal. Worst of all, she began writing to Ryan, letters filled with delusional fantasies about their future together. "I saved you," she wrote in one. "Now we can be together when you're ready." Ryan burned every letter unopened, but the damage was done. He moved across the country, changed his name, and attempted suicide twice. "I can't escape her," he told a therapist. "Even now, she's killing me." Meanwhile, new revelations emerged. Cellmates came forward claiming Hailey boasted about the murder. She said the hardest part was dragging the body, one inmate recalled. But she'd do it again for love. Psychologists debated whether Hailey was a master manipulator or genuinely believed her own delusions. The only certainty, she'd never expressed remorse. Then, 5 years into her sentence, guards found Hailey unconscious in her cell. She'd overdosed on stolen medication, not to die, but to induce a coma. "I wanted to see if Ryan would visit," she later admitted. When he didn't, she escalated, faking pregnancy announcements and even hiring a prisoner to mail Ryan a forged apology from Savannah. The final twist came on the anniversary of Savannah's death. Hailey requested, and was denied, a wedding ceremony in prison where she'd marry Ryan in absentia. That night, she hanged herself with bedsheets. Her last note read, "If I can't have him in life, I'll wait for him in death." Ryan, now living off-grid under a new identity, had one response when told of Hailey's death: "Good." The Whitmore parents divorced, unable to reconcile their grief. And Savannah? She became a cautionary tale, a vibrant life reduced to a true crime headline. This case forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Love can curdle into something monstrous. Hailey Whitmore wasn't just obsessed. She weaponized her fixation, destroying everyone in its path. But there's another victim here often overlooked, Ryan Gallagher, who lost not just his fiancé but his entire future to one woman's delusion. If there's one lesson to take from this tragedy, it's this: when someone shows you who they are, through escalating threats, through boundary violations, through that chilling moment when love becomes possession, believe them the first time. What do you think? Was Hailey mentally ill or purely evil? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this story disturbing, you're not alone. Sometimes the scariest monsters don't lurk in shadows. They sit across from us at family dinners, hiding in plain sight. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep crime stories with most unsettling cases. Thank you for watching.